Today I'm making this video to show off the Monopoly board I've created and explain some of the features of the board in case anybody wants to use it. So upon arrival at the board, you usually want to put all your stuff into a locker. And you can see I've already been messing around with the board a little bit. I've got some Monopoly money here. I've got some houses and game pieces. So these are things that I would usually carry on my person. Everything else I leave in here to make a little room in my inventory. And I usually carry around a little bit of food, a pickaxe, the Monopoly pickaxe, and then I keep a weapon on me just in case. Sometimes at night we run into problems with either phantoms or spiders coming over the walls. Generally nothing else though. This area is spawn-proofed pretty well. I've considered closing it completely in, but I think that's kind of overkill. It's a little fun to occasionally have to deal with the monsters and whatnot. But we have our rules here, so at the front I'm not going to go through the entire set of rules here, but essentially that'll give you some information on how to play and what our house rules are for Monopoly. Whenever you press this button, it'll give you your funding, so that it will come up through the floor there through a bubble stream, and that's going to give you essentially what I have here. It's $1,804 to start the game. You also need to select a color and take a set of game pieces. Now I've put in the rules that you can bring your own set of game pieces, like if you wanted to be stone or stone bricks or something, you could do that. We just included these as colors that are easy to select so a lot of players can play at the same time. We also included a lot of pickaxes. These are just simple pickaxes, something that you can use during the game and not worry about breaking. You don't have to bring your own pickaxe. And then there's food here because you probably will need food as well during the game. You can take a stack of that. So once you've collected your money, you got your game pieces, the game's ready to go. So I'm going to put these on my hotbar here. We can start out. We're going to roll the dice. So we hit this button to roll the giant dice, and you'll see a pulse comes out there. That's just to let you know that somebody rolled the dice, just on the off chance these don't change value. But you can see that has a 6 there, so I rolled a 6. Someone else can come along and roll, and then we'll see what they rolled, and it looks like that person rolled a 7. So we have a 6 and a 7. The 7 would go first, and any ties you would re-roll to see who went first out of those two people. But essentially you would start going around this way. Whenever you get to a property, you can buy it for the value shown on the sign. There's $60. Once you own the property, anyone else who lands on it has to pay you rent depending on how many houses and how many hotels. That's all in here. The information is copied directly from the Monopoly cards on a real Monopoly game. We also include how much houses cost. There's examples of how to build houses over there and hotels. And then there's materials in here to be able to build houses and hotels for each set of properties. So whenever you decide to buy this property, Mediterranean Avenue, we need to pay $60 to the bank. And the way we do that is we walk over to this ATM, and it has a deposit box on the side. So we're going to put in the side exactly $60. So I'm going to put in 20, 40, 60. You can see that that money doesn't disappear immediately, so it's easy to count. But we have our $60, close it, now it's gone off to the bank, and that money won't come back. That means I own this property, and I can mark it right here on the black line. So now that I've marked that, that means I've paid for it, I own it. Anyone that lands here is going to have to pay me the rent as indicated there. So then we're going to move on to the community chest. Whenever you get here, you hit the button, it'll give you a random community chest, and it says, oh, you're assessed for street repairs, we got to pay some money. When we have to pay that, we put it into the free parking fund. But we're going to put this book back into the community chest. Shulkers go down into the hoppers. And at the back of this, we have the receive different amounts. So if the community chest card says receive $100, you just come back here, press the receive $100. It'll spit $100 at you, and it'll fire off a firework to let everyone know that you pressed the receive $100. So hopefully you're communicating with your friends when you're playing Monopoly with them. So now if you land on any property, you can buy it. Now with the railroads, if you own one railroad, then people pay you one price. If you own two, it's a different price, 3 or 4. So we made it so that you just put how many blocks for how many you own. And when you buy a new one, you just come back and update those. It's pretty easy to keep track of. So we have our free parking fund. Real quick, I'm going to pay something into the free parking fund just to show how that works. We put in, say, $300 and a $500 bill for whatever reason. We had to pay a whole bunch into free parking. Maybe we had to pay for street repairs and we had a lot of hotels or something. But that money's gone. It's going to go off to the free parking fund. We have our utilities, same thing as the railroads. We use 1 to indicate that we own this one utility, 2 to indicate that we own both utilities, and then the price tag in here, roll 4 times or roll 10 times to pay the owner for that. So now let's say you're way over here on Tennessee Avenue and you want to pay somebody that's on the other side. You can flip this lever to receive the minecart here, and then you can put in the money that you owe them. So say you owe somebody $28, you put in 25, 26, 7, 8, and then you can send this on its way, and that'll go off and get to that person. They can stop it when it gets to them, and they can collect that money. So now if you were to land on free parking now, we made it this way on purpose so that if you step on this, nothing happens. You have to flip the lever indicating that you have landed here, and then step on here. Now, it'll just keep dinging at you, but we're not receiving any more money. All the money is gone. So now we have cleared out free parking, and it's a house rule that whenever we land on free parking, we get all the money from the middle. So that's just automatically taken care of for us. Any money that was paid in the middle comes over here. It takes a few seconds to get over here sometimes, so you may have to wait if other people have been paying around the map. But it's a pretty cool little feature, and I'll show you the redstone after this. So now we can continue on. We have all the same stuff essentially around here. The chance is still random, the same way the community chest was. Advance to go, collect exactly $200. That's to let you know you're not supposed to collect $400. So let's go ahead and receive this money that we were sending off to our partner here. So we got our money here. We can send that along. Back out. That'll just keep on going. So then we just continue on here. We have our properties, railroads, utilities, all this stuff. It's just repeated of what I've already shown. And we'll get to the rest of the ATM in a second. If you end up having to go to jail on this button, you can just press this button. We put a teleporter in that takes you straight to jail. So now if you happen to go to jail, in this corner we have our jail cell. Inside the jail cell, you can pay $50 to free parking for your release. So you can just press the button, go out here. Obviously, this isn't a real jail. It's not going to keep you there forever. It's a pretend jail, but it's kind of fun. So we come in here. You can press this button to roll the dice and see if you get doubles to get out of jail. Right up there, we'll see, oh, I rolled a 5, so I am not getting out of jail. But that was my first attempt. So you can see we keep these here just for counters, that you know how many times you press that button. And after you've rolled the 3rd time, then you have to pay the $50 and then roll again to move. So now let's say you landed here and you had to pay someone $200 or let's say $48, but you don't actually have $48. So if you don't have $48, but you do have $100, so now you can come over to the ATM and you can drop in $100. And the ATM, it'll take about 10 seconds because of the redstone that's under here that is quite complex. But you'll see that this is going to spit out change. Yep, we just got 2 50s. So let's go ahead and do that one more time just to show it. So right now I'm throwing a $500 bill in there. I've got 5 100s. We're just going to wait a few seconds for this to go ahead and work. There we go. There's our 5 100s from our $500 bill. So the ATM is intended just to give you change in the event that you don't have exact change. Of course, you can also make deals with people. If somebody, you can give them a 50 and get back $2. There's lots of ways around this, but we wanted to include the ATM capability partially because it was just fun to build. And it's also just kind of a cool thing to have. Unfortunately, it's pretty slow. So regardless, we're going to come along here, and of course, as I mentioned, every spot on the board has a button to roll the dice. So you don't have to go anywhere to roll those dice, and everyone can see this value. The double 6s is going to be shown all the way around. We can just do a quick look around. Double 6s on this side, this side, this side. So everybody knows that I rolled double 6s. I'm able to move along, and then whenever I get to the end here, When I get to go, I can hit this to get my $200 for pass and go. You can see I went up from 10 to 12. And there's an indicator over here, collect 400 if you landed on go through a dice roll. So basically that's another house rule. You land here and you're stuck on go, you get to hit this one more time. You get $400 instead of 200. So I believe that covers everything for the basics of the game. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your own builds.